The B team, we're back.
3-0.
3-0, boys.
Clap it up.
I don't think the followers, I don't think you realize how hot me, Muller, and Gassy have been recently. Don't look at the record, but over the last 2 to 3 weeks, between the 24 Days of Christmas parlays, the Mortals, we have been just on fire. We are winning people money. They are riding with us, and you guys need to ride with us too. We are just giving out locks, and it's kind of insane right now because after the run that I had from like weeks 3 to like 10,
from week 1 to week 8, you were 1-7.
1-7. After that, I'm what 5-1. 5-1.
All on Thursday.
Oh yeah, we're keeping that by the way. So. And I don't know if you looked at the Thursday game. It's really, really, really ugly.
It's one of the worst.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough one. I think I'm stuck between 2, but I think I'm going to ride with them 1. But, yeah, we've been hot, and I'm happy we're back. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into the 24 Days of Christmas because this is a new segment we're doing. What do you got, Muller? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to mention?
People need to understand that the 24 Days of Christmas is still yielding a profit because we won, 240 or something on the first day?
Yeah.
And then
250.
250. All right. And that's if you put down $50 and you were in a wuss bag. And then we missed on the second. We missed on the third. We missed on the fourth. So now that's 150. You're still up 100 going into tonight. And I love tonight's.
But hold on.
Now, I want to apologize for the Tim Boyle pick. We should have known better. That although all 3 of us were behind it, that we really should have known better than to think Tim Boyle in his Air Jordans was going to last.
Listen.
Speaking of, he was cut today.
Listen, we can't. Oh, yes, he was cut today.
Was cut.
But we can't. We have to ride with everybody's picks. We can challenge
we win
it,
as a team
but
and lose as a team.
Absolutely. So we have to acknowledge that maybe the pick could be out of order. But I will still, I will still ride with it regardless.
But the thing is, and we're not going to say whose was whose, but we know the people who picked Tim Boyle were also the same people who picked Sixers plus 7. Without Embiid or Maxey in Boston, which was a great pick by whomever picked it.
Yeah, so it's a team parlay.
It's 100% a team parlay.
I agree.
Tonight, I think, was our best collaboration of picks, solely because we all picked something and then gave ourselves some cover and got the plus money still.
Yeah, also I want to actually, no. Fuck it, I'm going to say it. I want to apologize for this Suns-Lakers under. So I thought it was the day of. It was the next day.
Yeah.
So that was my pick.
Honestly,
but we have that going tonight, though.
Yeah, like the best thing for that pick is that last night we didn't hit. Because now you get to do it again with more points.
So let me ask you now. So Jalen Brunson, I haven't been following the Knicks much, but I know of their roster. He is a bowler.
Yeah. In his last 25 games, he's hit that mark every game except for 2.
So Jalen Brunson has hit 20-plus points in the 9 of his last 10 games. Yeah,
23 of his last 25, and in those 2 games, I believe he only played like 10, 12 minutes. He didn't play a lot.
But he's a starting shooting guard, correct? Or is he starting point guard? Okay,
yeah.
RJ is a shooting guard then.
Julius Randle, and then they got RJ on the wing. They got Josh Hart, DiVincenzo now, and then Robinson down low just bodying Wembanyama's.
Yeah, so if the people who are scoring points on that team is going to be Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett here and there, Julius.
Especially tonight because these games, the big guys are going to play, and they're going to play a lot. They're playing for a trophy. I know at the beginning of the year we were all like, NBA in-season tournament, they're not going to really go for it. But the guys want this. Like, there's money on the line.
Yeah,
they're getting paid if they win this thing.
I'll tell you what though. Like, I think before the in-season tournament, before it even started, I think a lot of NBA fans were kind of questioning what the hell Adam Silver was doing. Like, what is this? Is this the regular season? Is this the in-season tournament?
It still is confusing.
It still is, but I think it was a hit. Big time. I think especially with the games that we've seen over the last week have been fantastic. Tyrese Halliburton, I've said it before, is going to be an MVP someday. He is phenomenal. I'm an Indiana Pacers fan now. Just
Question,
kidding.
Did you see the picture that the NBA posted?
No.
Go look at the NBA. I'll describe it while you look it up.
Okay.
So they posted a picture of Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton, I believe, were the two in that picture, and it looks like it really does look like they're touching each other. No, maybe it was ESPN. Go check ESPN. Give ESPN a little look. But it looks like they're touching each other. This is good podcasting here.
ESPN. Hold on. What's going on here? Stand by. So it's Tatum and it's Halliburton.
Nope.
No, it's not that one, but that is Tatum and Halliburton. Or Tatum and Halliburton. Jesus. Where is this picture?
I don't actually know where it is, to be honest with you. But
Okay, but
it looks exactly like they're touching each other. It was on one of the big pages. Maybe it was Bleacher Report. But we're not going to go through all of them. Regardless, it really doesn't matter. I don't know why I brought it up. But this tournament's sick.
it is. It really is, and I'm glad that they added it. I'm rooting for Indiana all the way. And I was going to take them with the points. I think they were plus 5.5. The day where I took the Suns Lakers, should have, because they're awesome, and yeah,
Wouldn't
I'm
matter
rooting for them. Yeah, it wouldn't matter. But now let me ask you. So, do you know our total record of the 24 days of Christmas, like our win losses?
We're 1-3.
No, I'm saying for like each.
Oh no, that doesn't matter. At the end
Okay.
of the day. It doesn't matter.
Deal. All right.
It's a parlay.
Well, all I got to say is we're hot. We've won people money, and we are yielding a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Our mortals are just as damn good. We went 3-0 again.
We're above 500 as a team.
Yeah, we're snapping. The Seahawks covered. That was the easiest cover ever.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions covered. Great pick. They almost blew it. I don't know if you guys watched that game.
Yep.
They almost blew it, but they came back.
The Lions are 4-0 when we bet on them. That's just it's a matter of fact. Like that's just how it is.
Now, I think Gassy has taken them each time.
4 times.
You've taken them 4 times and they've covered.
So
Gassy,
we're
that is
like
fantastic.
4 of my 5 wins.
4 of your 6.
4 of my 6.
Gassy, it doesn't matter. You know there's a trend with you and the Lions. You guys have something special.
That's a man that knows what he wants.
That's a man that knows exactly what he wants. So
Am I a Lions fan now?
every Jets fan is a Lions fan. I'm low-key a Lions fan too. So yeah, I think every Jets fan, because they know how shitty the Lions have been. You can even throw the Browns in there, but I put the Lions over the Browns. Screw Deshaun Watson. But yeah, I love the Lions just as much. They're awesome. I got Gibbs and Amon-Ra on my bench or on my team. They're fun to watch. Jared Goff's the man. Hopefully that streak continues and we don't get a loss this year. Next year will be different, but if we do take the Lions, I hope that they just cover. Like that, they're great when we bet on them. They're almost in their own category type shit.
They're phenomenal.
If we hit again on the Lions, we may have to throw them into the GOATs category.
I think-
Lions,
oh,
went and
Lion-
bet on them.
I think they're already
I
there.
think they're already in.
Yeah, they're already in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we put them in after you hit them on the 3rd time. We should have made a new category for them above goats when they hit the 4th time.
God.
Should we get into the mortals? Do we all have our picks?
Well,
we all good?
do you guys want to talk about our previous mortals? Like, because the Seahawks game we can get into.
Well, let's get into it after we pick.
Okay, deal.
Well, we're going to get into it because the 49ers and Seahawks played Cowboys, Eagles.
That's fine.
Lions are the Lions.
You're right. Well, Muller, you're on a streak. You're just unbelievable this year. Why don't you start us off?
So now I want to start off by let's say the record. So I'm 10-4. Mike and Gassy both 6-7-1, but on streaks coming back. I'm going to offer something here before I make my pick. Gassy, I want to offer you the Lions. Do you want the Lions? Is that your
I
pick?
was gonna take 'em.
All right, then I'm going to give him the Lions. That was going to be mine, but out of respect for the Lions, I'm going to give him the Lions. All right, so now my pick is going to be
What's the spread on the Lions? Hold on.
3.
-3
Three against Chicago.
Yeah. At Chicago.
at Chicago. Okay, -3. I have to like it. It's the Lions.
For me, I'm looking at this now. What's the Steelers line at currently?
-6.
-6. Wow.
I think it's a good pick.
But that's Thursday. I don't want to take away from Mike.
Don't touch it.
I'm not touching it. I'm going to leave it. And I'm sorry. You guys are in a full tank. Give me the Texans. What are they, 6? They got to be
-5.5.
-5.5. Even better. Give me that. Texans -5.5 is my pick. The Jets are tanking.
They are fully tanking.
I know you guys are going to the game, and I feel bad that I have to do this to you guys, but I hope that the Texans win by like 20.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, my streak of taking the team that I pick at the line and at minus 20 has continued
yeah,
because the 49ers won by a boatload.
Yep. Yeah, they blew him out. Listen, you're number one right now with the picks, so I'm not gonna hate. As you guys know, I'm on a 6-game win streak on Thursday nights. I think it's 6. We're going to make it 7. It's an ugly one. We just talked about it. Steelers minus 6. In Pittsburgh, the over-under, is 30.5. Oh, I hate it so much, but I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under 30.5. That's what got me back on the streak, and I believe the Steelers and Titans were playing in that game.
Yep.
We covered by a half point. We're going to cover again. Under 30.5, Steelers, Patriots. Thursday night.
I like that because Patriots can't score for their lives, and it's going to be Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
It's going to be Mitch at quarterback. We got the Patriots defense. We got the Steelers defense. We have it's just a complete shit show.
This game should be 9-0.
It's going to be one of those games, especially in the cold. It could be one of those Bill Belichick run the ball every time type of games.
Yes.
We're going to take the under.
I love it. This could we're hitting at least 2 picks every week. We've had very few weeks where only one is hit. And it kind of happened during that dark time in Mike's life at the beginning of the season. But yeah, we've been hot lately. Like if you want an easy way to make money, you should just take all 3 separate. Just take them all separate. Be a smart person. You take them straight, and then you throw everything, your whole life, on the Christmas parlay. Even though it's only 1 and 3.
You get somewhat of a profit too. So we haven't gone 0-3 yet. Mm-hmm. I don't think we have. 1 and 3, maybe like once or twice.
No, we went 0-3 week 2 because the Eagles suck.
Week 2 we did?
And week 7.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way, bro.
Yep. I'm looking at it right here.
No kidding.
Yeah. Week 2 and week 7.
What were the picks?
Week 2 I had Eagles minus 7. We had Panthers plus 3. That was you.
That was a push.
That was a push.
Yeah.
So technically not 0-3.
So
wait,
some money back.
was week 7 that too?
So
Tyler Lockett definitely didn't score a touchdown.
Tyler did not
Rams
score.
minus 3, I don't think hit. No, it couldn't have because I don't have a tie. Raiders minus 3 in week 7. What happened there?
I'm looking right now. So we're looking at week 7 here. Let me
You
pull this
pushed
up.
on the Jets game, didn't you? The next week.
I think.
Yeah, so we went 0-3 that week.
So
that was a bad week.
So week 7 we had the Raiders minus 3, right? That did not hit.
Okay, then nothing hit.
Yeah.
So week
so
7
we had it
was
once.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, if trends are going to repeat themselves, every 7 weeks we go 0-3.
No, I don't
week
believe
14.
It. I don't believe it. The picks are lit.
If there's
We're hot right
there's
now.
no way that trend's going to continue.
No
Detroit
shot.
won't let it happen.
No.
They won't.
No.
Well, again, we bet on Detroit, and they always cover.
Mm-hmm.
We're 4-0 on it. We're going to go 5-0 on it. The under 30.5, everyone's taking the over. Fade the public, we're going under. And Mueller just been hot. So
Well, the Jets are tanking.
Jets are.
Look at these picks. Lions at the Bears. Bears suck. There's no defense or no offense in that one. And then the Jets are tanking. If you're not throwing everything on this thing, you're crazy.
The only reason why I'm
Gamble responsibly, 21 plus.
The only reason why I'm a little nervous of that game is because the Jets defense is still elite and they just lost Tank. So I think minus 5.5 is I like to pick though, but the defense does kind of scare me because they could put CJ in a loophole. But
So
they are tanking.
My rebuttal to that is
We have no offense.
exactly.
Fair.
And the Texans have offense. Even without Tank,
Fair.
they have offense.
Fair. I hope it wins because I don't want to win. I don't at all. Like tank.
Yeah.
For Tank though.
Yeah, this game is getting tanked for Tank.
That's just an awful injury. And you see that they were actually trying to blame the D tackle for like rolling up on him. Like, listen, I've played football and I've gotten hurt that way. That's something you can't control, dude. Like if someone, like, you see it all the time. Like when I watch football and I see injuries where somebody's blocking and someone like just kind of just what was it called when you just dive at their legs again? I forget.
Chalk block.
Chop block. Yeah, it's kind of like a chop block in a way, but you just don't expect it.
Yeah.
And it is a very serious way of getting injured, but you don't realize it because you're blocking. It happened to me in Liberty because I was blocking and that dude just cleared my knee out, like done. Like shit like that happens, and they're trying to ban it. Like, dude, some of that shit you just can't control. Like, you can't control it. You can't blame people for that hip drop tackle. Like, bro, how else are you gonna get them down, dude? Like, you have to. Like, if they get, it's part of the freaking game, dude. Like, it's so frustrating when they're just trying to regulate so many things that are just you could try to control, but like in certain situations, that's the only way you're getting them down. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, and I hate that they're trying to step in and figure it out. Like, leave it be. Like, shit happens. Like, for example, when you're a DN or a D tackle and you freaking dive at their legs beneath the waist, like half the time they're getting pushed into them because they're getting around the guard tackle, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna push them away so they don't get sacked, and unfortunately they just push them to the quarterback and they go for the legs, and it's a flag on the defense. Like, it's just bullshit. I don't want to get in the loophole here, but it's not the guy's fault that Tank Dell got hurt. Does it suck that it happened? Yes, because he's an unbelievable rookie, and he's only going to get better with age. So, Tank, recover. We're going to miss you. You've been great, especially for fantasy. And it's Nico Collins time. It's Nico Collins. It's Dalton Schultz time.
Yes.
I'm excited to see it.
At the same time as us saying RIP Tank, I want to say RIP to the referee whose leg was removed.
I'm sorry, that was
from his body.
hilarious. I was cracking up.
I feel bad for him. He broke his leg and dislocated his knee all in one play. But was it CBS or Fox?
I think it was Fox.
Fox, you did a great job of cutting to it because after the play, Alvin Kamara gets up. They cut away from his close-up, and they have the ref's leg crooked right behind him. And you see Alvin Kamara like, he wants to help him, but he just didn't know what to do. He needed a medical professional to be with him.
It's just when you see like a camera just like go to the sideline of a player that goes out of bounds, and then in the corner of your eye you just see this guy's leg just like hanging off, and he's not even moving. He's just like this, and you could see his like.
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry, that was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to send it to everybody because I thought it was hilarious.
And it took longer for them to get him off the field than it did DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, that guy was toast. And Trevor Lawrence, by the way, have you seen all that stuff? It's ridiculous.
What?
What
are you talking about?
Well, Trevor Lawrence obviously got hurt. Literally, there was no cart for him.
Yeah, you're in Florida.
Hobbled to the locker room with two guys. Where are your carts?
You're in Florida. There's golf courses everywhere.
Where are the carts? This is Trevor Lawrence, dude.
Franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Maybe he said he didn't want one.
No, it's bullshit, dude. And it's probably because freaking Khan didn't want to. He's already paying enough to have him fucking play in England and Germany.
That and a pool.
Pools
are expensive.
That man saved your franchise.
The pool?
No, Trevor.
Oh, okay.
Trevor saved your franchise. I hate to see it too because now we're always jagging off, but now what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I mean, ETN, I could see ETN going crazy, but if you got
not even him, he was out the whole third quarter with rib injury.
Dude, Christian
his ribs
Kirk
have been
got
hurt for 4 weeks.
Ridley,
Christian Kirk's out for the year, I think.
He's out for the year.
I think he had surgery this morning.
Are you really?
I'm dead serious.
Oh no!
Right?
Hey, Jones, Ridley, and by the way, they lost that game. So
Now I gotta give a shout out. What's his name? Browning.
Jake Browning.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm not gonna lie, he looked pretty good.
He did.
He's no Joe Burrow, but he looked good.
Yeah, he stepped up. Jamar, listen, when you're a backup quarterback, I feel like the only thing you should be doing is your first read is your best wide receiver.
Yes.
The Jets didn't do that. Like Jake Browning did. He looked at Jamar, and if he was open, he was throwing it to him no matter what. Like, get him the ball. That's exactly what should be happening every freaking time. Every time. And maybe the Jets can learn from that. I don't know.
Yeah, and let's get into this question that we posed earlier. Can anyone stop the Dolphins from getting to the Super Bowl in the AFC?
Of course.
Obviously, of course. But I had 3 teams written down here that could, in realistic terms. I have the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Jags. But after last night, I don't know if the Jags don't have those key players. I think you got to cross them off the list too.
I would say, yeah, the Ravens and the Chiefs for sure. But anything can happen in the playoffs, man. I mean, if the Bills somehow make it, I know we hate the Bills. That's a division game. They beat them last year. Like, I wouldn't count them out. I mean, it's just, what are you going to do about Tyreek Hill? Like that, because that's the player you got to key on. Obviously, they got Waddle, they got Mostert, they got Achane, but it's not like they're not vulnerable. I think the Finns are definitely vulnerable. Am I concerned about the Chiefs? No. I will never be concerned about the Chiefs. Am I concerned about the Ravens? No. Not going to be concerned about them either. Really just depends on the playoff picture. I mean, the guys in the hunt, they're obviously going to be playing one of them in the wild card.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, here's what the playoff picture in the AFC looks like right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Dolphins, Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Steelers, Browns, Colts. That would be your playoffs in that half.
Mm-hmm. Steelers, Browns, Colts. I mean,
the Browns don't have a quarterback.
The Browns don't have a quarterback. I don't.
The Colts are on Minshew mania.
Yeah.
And the Steelers now have Mitch Trubisky.
Yes.
Honestly, the Texans, if they don't make it, but now they lost Tank Dell. Like, everyone at the bottom is losing people. Jags just lost Trevor, maybe ETN.
But
they lost Kirk. If you look at the Dolphins, Ravens, and Chiefs, who are they losing?
Nobody. Yeah. I will say though, Trevor, I think he avoided a serious injury. I think he's like,
he did.
Yeah, he's day to day. So, I don't know if they should play him depending on how he feels. I wouldn't be opposed to not letting him play.
They play the Browns this week.
They play the Browns. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of Trevor's health, I wouldn't mind just taking the game and just because it's still a winnable game. Mm-hmm. It's just getting past that defense. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and looking at how the AFC is stacked right now, you could make a serious argument that the teams that are not in the next 3 or 4 will probably, I would say at least 2 of them are going to get in. Because you got the Texans, who are a good team. You got the Broncos, who have been surging lately. I think they're 5-1 in their last 6, something like that. The Bengals are probably done, but who knows, because Browning looked pretty good last night. If they can put up points and the defense can keep points off the board, they easily could sneak in over the Browns, maybe even the Steelers. And then you have the Bills, who, I mean, the Bills are the Bills still. They just have been like they should have. It's like the Eagles game. They had it, you know. They're right there. They just have no luck this year. Last year, I feel like they were getting those plays and they were doing what the Eagles have done for most of this year.
What I've seen with the Bills so far is, can they be competitive? Yes. But I feel like a lot of the jurisdiction is on Josh Allen. From what I've seen, it all is on Josh Allen. It's, can he have a good game? Can he carry the offense? Because the only way you're carrying the offense is throwing to Stephon Diggs, mediocre Gabe Davis, and above average James Cook. Like, those are, and Kincaid too. You can't forget about him. Like, if they can just, like you said, close games and Josh Allen play smart, but also be a playmaker, because that's what they need Josh Allen to be.
Yeah.
They could definitely get in. I mean, right now we're looking at the wild card, and
everyone's a game apart.
Yeah, so 7-5, 7-5, 7-5. You have the Texans at 7-5, Broncos 6-6, Bills 6-6. Like, I think right there that is the playoff picture.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
Chargers down is done.
Yeah, like the Chargers, if they can maybe go on a little run, but
you saw that. You saw that offense.
Yeah, I don't think it's
dead
happening.
In the water.
Like, and listen, we can't count out the Bengals, but I think they got a really steep hill to climb. It's going to be very tough for them.
The only promising thing for the Bengals is that they have the Steelers and the Browns in their division.
Yes.
And the Steelers and the Browns are playing with backups too.
Now,
whoa.
Hello. With the Steelers, I think they don't have a target on their back, but they got to really play hard, because listen, it's not a lock that they beat the Patriots on Thursday night.
I agree with you.
Like, it's not at all.
We don't know if Mitch Trubisky's capable of playing football.
Because I don't know how long Kenny Pickett is out for, but we've seen this as Jets fans. How much can you depend on your defense to win you games? Yeah. You're going to need takeovers. You're going to need fourth down, or you're going to need turnover on downs. You're going to need to get a first down. Like, has their running game looked all right? Yeah, it has, because they have Najee and they got Jalen Warren. But
Jalen Warren should be the starter.
It's tough. Agreed. They you know what, they kind of do have a target on their back, because that's a team that you look at in the wild card and you're like, that's a team that we can jump for sure. The Colts are kind of fun right now. I like what I'm seeing from the Colts, but how long can they keep this up? They're on a 4-game win streak right now. It looks like they're clicking on all cylinders. So
it's Minshew mania, man. You saw him in the locker room.
I love it. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. Obviously, with Luke and Adam, they're Colts fans, so I like watching them. It's just I like Shane Steichen. I think he's really improved that team overall, just the way he is coming from the Birds. It's gonna be something. And listen, you can't even look at the Jags 8-4, the Chiefs 8-4. Like, I think the Chiefs will make it, but if Trevor's out for it, depending on how long they sit him, you got to worry. I mean, this could all change. 4 of these teams can be jumped down, and 4 can just jump up. Like, I think the Texans are going to make it in. I think they should make it in, even with Tank Dell out, because they still have Nico, they still have Noah Brown, Robert Woods, Dalton Schultz, and CJ's on fire, dude. And he's on a mission right now. And the Broncos seem like they're clicking.
I started Cortland Sutton 3 weeks in a row, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's when you know something's happening over there.
Yeah, that was one player. If we're getting into fantasy, that was one player that finally broke out of his shell. We've been waiting for years for that to happen. So, do you want to guess what time are we at right now? Yeah, I thought you had it in your laptop. I'm sorry.
Let's get into this Eagles-Cowboys game.
28 minutes.
Eagles-Cowboys game.
Yeah, we'll talk that and we'll move over.
Listen, this is we're talking about playoffs right now, and this Eagles-Cowboys game is huge for playoffs because the Cowboys arguably have played the best football over the past probably month and a half if you rule out the 49ers. Like, maybe you could argue maybe the 49ers and the Dolphins. Best football being played at the moment. Dak Prescott's playing at MVP level. He has them in a position where they're actually favored over the 10-2 Eagles, who I think are actually reeling. I think they're really worried right now because if they're going out and getting Shaq Leonard, who hasn't proven that he's capable of running, not even north-south, but east and west, I don't think he can run any direction anymore. And I'm not sure he's able to tackle. And if he can't tackle, he'll fit right in Philadelphia. I don't know if we all watched that 49ers game, but I don't know if that defense knows how to play football. They're going to get shredded by Dak this week. Go ahead and rip me, Greg, because you'll be on next week. And when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys not only covering the 3 points, but also winning by 20 again, like at some point, the Eagles have to realize that you aren't that good. You're not that team. You won some games, but you had the refs on your side. Look what happens when the refs aren't on your side. You're all crying. You're all sounding like every other team in the NFL. And I just think it's time to worry in Philadelphia. If they've lost the refs, they're in trouble. They're going to finish the season with 4 losses. And I'm not talking to their record right now. I mean, they could end 10-6.
Wow. Listen,
they were Swiss cheese against the 49ers, Mike. Swiss cheese.
They were Swiss cheese against the 49ers, but I'm not going to debunk them because they have played a lot of hard games. They've played in the recent kind of weeks. They've played the Chiefs. They've played the Bills. They've played.
I'm not taking away from what they've done. What they've done has been like to get the 10 wins at this part of the year is amazing. But here's how they played last game. When they actually had to play a legit team, because I only think that there's maybe 5 legit teams in the NFL right now that have an actual shot of making it to the Super Bowl. And that is the Dolphins, Ravens, Eagles, Niners, Cowboys. Cowboys last. And
no Chiefs?
No. I don't think that you can win. I know Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. I don't think you can win with that wide receiver group.
I can't count on Andy Reid.
If you can't beat the Packers, like you ain't going to beat these other teams. But the Eagles defense allowed 146 rushing yards. I know that's Christian McCaffrey. Tony Pollard is a different type of animal. he's probably not going to touch 100 yards. But with Shaq Leonard there, he very well might because he doesn't know how to tackle. They allowed 314 receiving yards. I think it was 187 were on throws that were behind the line of scrimmage. Behind the line of scrimmage. How do you let up that many yards when he's throwing the ball behind? Brock Purdy's going to win the MVP, and he's not throwing the ball downfield. He's literally throwing it sideways. How do you allow that? It's crazy to me. But the biggest thing for me is this offense. The Eagles' offense has to figure themselves out if they're going to win a Super Bowl this year. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he gets them moving down the field. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. Roll Tide. But Monte Smith, too. Roll Tide. But when he gets into the red zone, this team struggles for some reason. It kind of reminds me of the Cowboys. At the beginning of the year, they were rolling on offense. Every time they got into the red zone, score. Red zone, score. It was never a question. But the last couple games, I feel like I'm watching them, and it's like they're very predictable. Like everyone's waiting for Hurts to run. They're waiting for him to throw it to A.J. Brown. And then one of the bigger things for me is that Jason Kelce has false started 5 times in his last 3 games, I think. It's something crazy. Like he's never done this, and all of a sudden, I think it's almost time to retire, big man. It's almost time to retire.
I think the Eagles finally met their match. I think this just goes to show what we knew about the Niners. We knew that they were legit. Yep. They have one of the best defenses in the league. This was the game where it was really either make or break on everyone's thought about the Niners, and they showed up. I mean, listen, we could talk about Brock Purdy throwing it sideways, not really airing it out or whatnot, but dude, again, it's this system that Kyle Shanahan has is different than any other system that we've seen. Like, he's got the players that are yard after catch players. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. He mixes it up. They got every premium position locked down, and they are top 5 players. Trent Williams is why they lost a couple games because he was not there. He was so out. Good. He is one of the best left tackles, if not the best left tackle in the game. When all Brock had to do, and shout out to Brock because going into Philly and beating them like that is really freaking impressive.
And it looked scary at first.
Yeah, no.
It looked scary at first.
Big time. I mean, it's funny too because there's a stat before halftime when the Eagles are trailing, they're 5-0. This was the first time that they finally lost to a team that actually stuck it back to them. They were on the ropes and they played well, man, and everything just clicked. I think they're easily the favorites in the NFC. I'm not debunking the Birds because I still think the Birds have a great roster. This is what I said last week, dude. Their defense is ranked 15th in rushing, 15th in passing. Yeah. Like, it's vulnerable. Like, it might not look – and they actually did not do bad for the first half. Like, they were playing really well.
They came out hot.
But then I think usually it's the other way around. The Eagles will wear you down in the second half. No, the Niners wore them down big time in the second half. But listen, this next game is important for them because if you want to keep that 1 seed, you have to beat the Cowboys. I mean, you've done it before. You almost lost.
They should have lost. Let's call spade a spade here. They should have lost that game. Cowboys fell apart.
Yeah, and it's one every time they play each other. Doesn't matter if it's in week 17. Doesn't matter if Jalen Hurts and Dak are out. It's always going to be an important game, and it's important for Dallas. Like this is the most important game of the season for both of those teams. Yeah. So Dak again, MVP level right now. He's just got to keep playing the way he's playing. They gotta run the ball. You've seen what Mike McCarthy should be doing is watching that Niners-Eagles game and watching what Kyle Shanahan was doing to unlock their players to getting down the field because that's what's important the most.
Yeah. And, I've heard a lot of people say that, but I also want to remind everyone how tough it is to score 40 points in this league week in and week out. And the Cowboys have been doing that pretty frequently over the last, 6-7 weeks. That's a tough thing to do, and they're doing it. I know that the teams we're playing, not all of them are great, But at the end of the day,
make a
they're
schedule.
they're all professionals.
No, I agree.
They're all getting paid
100%.
millions and millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
to do this. And a lot of times, it's not the players, because you see a lot of players go from these teams that suck, and they go to a good team, and all of a sudden they're phenomenal. Like, sometimes it's just coaching, and I know coaches don't play the game, but sometimes that's the case. Like, whatever. And now I'm gonna shit on the Cowboys real quick.
Go ahead.
Deron Bland has to play better. If we're going to win this game, he has to play better. The corners have to play better. Linebackers, we got to tackle. We have to get to the quarterback. We had no sacks last game against an O-line that honestly didn't show life for most of the year. They all of a sudden are able to just block everyone, and they have a great run. Like that, come on. And if we can really get to not Dak Prescott. Let's not get to Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts. I think we win this game, man. Because we're going to get a turnover out of him.
Mm-hmm.
He'll throw an interception.
It's, again, like with Dallas Goedert out, it's just making sure that you can contain A.J. Brown on the short routes, but also make sure that you can't get beat over top with Devontae Smith, because he has that ability to do that. Yeah. Zacchaeus, same thing. Like, it's getting to the quarterback. Yes, you're going to give up points, but you can't give up points like you did last week. That's what's key. Yeah. You can't let A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith go off for 3 touchdowns. Yeah. And I don't think they'll do that. No. I think it will be another close game. I mean, they're going to be hungry, the Birds. They're going to be hungry. They just lost at home. Like, the Cowboys got to take that pressure, man. And Dak just has to keep playing his game, and they got to find a way to get Pollard involved. They got to find a way to wear them down instead of getting worn down. So, that's my game of the week, no doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I think the Cowboys are going to win. I'm not going to say I know it, because then all the Eagles fans are going to come for my neck, even though I do know it. God, this defense just has to come in with a chip on their shoulder. It's kind of like the Arizona game. Luckily, Dak Prescott played well this time and got us the win. But, man, that defense has to play well. Mm-hmm. Has to play well. If you don't play well, this game's gone. Yep. Gone.
So this is this is our last point before we move on to the fantasy segment. Fantasy segment, 30 minutes, going through all fantasy players. Definitely check that out.
Coming out Saturday.
Yep, coming out on Saturday. Playoffs are starting, so definitely hear our thoughts. Take what you want to take, and then start whoever. NFC playoff picture right now. So the Birds are the first seed, and the Niners are second. Lions are third. And here we go. Listen to this. NFC South, fourth seed. The Atlanta Falcons at 6-6. Cowboys wild card 9-3. We got the Vikings still up there, 6-6, and Drew Appleman's Green Bay Packers got the 7th seed. So on the bubble in the hunt, we got the Rams at 6-6, the Seahawks 6-6, and then after that we got the Bucks 5-7, Saints 5-7. So now,
I'm gonna give an early lock. Week 18, Green Bay beats Vikings, takes over the division. The division, and not the Lions. Wow. Clip that shit. I'm just thinking Lions are going to lose to the Cowboys. And then if they lose 2 more,
Impressive feat by the Packers, man. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm pulling for the Packers. We had them they were an undefeated team at the beginning of the year.
Listen, what they're doing right now is pretty awesome. I mean, they just beat the Chiefs, and then Thanksgiving they beat the Lions. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jordan Love is looking great. Christian Watson, they're going to get Aaron Jones back. They got a chip on their shoulder too, and they're hungry. Watch out for them. And yeah, it's looking quite. What I'm more interested in, and I know it's kind of boring, is that NFC South seed, because it's the number 4 seed. One of those teams, either the Atlanta Falcons or the New Orleans Saints or the Bucks, are going to be hosting a playoff game,
and they're going to get blown up by 30. Because they're going to play the Eagles or the Cowboys.
It's like I'm like just so intrigued to watch that. I just want to see who wins that division, because the fact that the number 4 seed right now is 6-6, and then the next wild card team, the Cowboys, are 9-3, just absolutely cracks me up. So whoever wins that, I'm rooting for them, and I hope you go far, all in all. But with that being said, that's our show for the moment. We're going to get into fantasy.
This will come out first. Fantasy out Saturday.
Yep.
But. All right.
See
ya.
Bye, guys.